Good morning, SteadyPad viewers. So today, episode 2, and I believe this will become somewhat of a series, I'm referring to as Methods to the Madness. Now, wherever one is at on their journey of awakening, learning tools and techniques to kind of help hold your feelings and emotions so that you can better process them. And, meditation is unique to the individual, but there are so many different methods and modalities and techniques to help one center themselves. So if I could reflect back to the beginning of my journey, to my mid-teens, maybe freshman, sophomore year of high school, and I was really fascinated with Bruce Lee. And so he spoke a great deal of Zen meditation. And so after reading a few of his books, it led me to a book called Beginner's Mind. And I'm forgetting the author. I have the book sitting on my shelf over there. But the main reference point was that everything is a swinging door. And in that mindset, to kind of recognize that moment to moment, there is a pivot point. And we can get attached to the moment, and then our attitude and opinions and beliefs come in, and we might hold on to something for better or for worse. But in the mindset of Zen, it is simply allowing it to just flow through you. Oh, I got a spider climbing on my phone back there. I'm going to just leave him be. Kind of auspicious in a sense, having this spider chiming in on my talk of Zen. And so, reflecting on a quote that I heard from an old friend, and he picked this up from Ram Dass, perhaps you're familiar with, that all methods are traps, and if you use it correctly, lead to complete dissolution, meaning that you no longer need it. So in the beginning of cultivating a meditation practice, sure, we need teachers and programs and a means to process and filter and to integrate what it is that we're learning. But if one holds on to these things too much, then we overlook the depths that are available to us simply by releasing and transcending and going deeper inward. So, beginner's mind is this practice that no matter how much you've learned, no matter how advanced your practice may become, that if we ever find ourselves feeling stuck, we can always bring it back to the present moment, the beginner's mind. That no matter how much you never know it all, so that we can keep learning from moment to moment, keeping that beginner's mind concept present within us. So something worth reflecting on, and a few basic practices I'm going to touch base on today to integrate within the Zen mind, beginner's mind practice. Perhaps you're familiar with box breathing or square breathing, or the 4-point, 8-point contact breath. Whatever it may be, it does not have to be complicated to be profound. It just requires your present awareness. So square breathing, box breathing, and then to address LSD breathing. Low, slow, and deep. Cultivating this present awareness of just being really conscious and intuitive with your breath. That every moment to moment has this potential of being a deep, deep meditation. It's just, are we choosing to be conscious with where we are at in space and time? Or are we busy being somewhere else in the mind and not present with the body? So the many layers of meditation, can lead you out of your body. But ultimately, we are inhabiting this body, so we must become masters of this body. And so Zen mind, beginner's mind, these are foundational practices that can really help one carry their awareness into their ideal universe, into their new earth, into their future. And it's the power of thought that allows us to get there. And if we're busy running programs that are imposed upon us, whether that be from the TV or the news or whatever various media form that may be, we are giving our power away to these external thoughts that take over our thoughts. Now, for better or for worse, again, we get to choose how we relate to these thought forms. And it's through our beliefs that we shape our environment. This is what epigenetics speaks to, and this is a focal point that I'm going to keep coming back to, is bridging the science with spirituality. And so epigenetics holds that key. The more that we are willing to do the inner work and learn about the science, we can understand ourselves more deeply. And we won't ever get there if we don't ask these questions, if we simply just trust what's being told to us. And then just being like, well, the scientists of today, they've got it figured out, so I'm going to just trust what they have to say. But this is where I completely disagree, and that we should all be scientists within our own body, within our own temple, and then through the collective consciousness of things. So, methods to the madness. Today I'm keeping it really basic with Zen mind, beginner's mind, and introducing the square breathing, box breathing, and LSD. Low, slow, and deep. So to touch on our autonomic nervous system, which the old paradigm of science says that it's the involuntary system, that we do not have control over it. The heart beating, the breath breathing itself, blood pumping, stomach digesting, etc. These things happen whether or not we are aware of it. But through conscious means of meditation and mindfulness practices and breath work, this autonomic nervous system is actually something that we do have control over. And it's like learning the operator manual through internal practices of zetetic science, first-hand verifiable, putting it to work for yourself. So today, with these practices, emphasizing the parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and digest. We are constantly bombarded with external stress factors, and we are no longer in the hunter-gatherer, lifestyle of being at threat from external circumstances of a bear eating us, or whatever the circumstance may be. But to think that the nervous system responds to advertisements the same way, as if our life is at threat. And if we are not consciously practicing integrating our breath and our awareness and our mindfulness, then we are missing the key to transcending. And so integrating is where the work is at. So recognizing, oh, my nervous system is feeling triggered right now. I simply must just deepen my breath. It is that simple. And even just a single breath really goes a long ways. So to think it's about the space between everything, from moment to moment, breath to breath. And that present awareness is something that we can cultivate and make the moment last even longer. So if I had anything else to add to this basic practice of Zen mind, I guess I've covered my notes for today. Let me see if there's any comments here. Okay, I'm glad that there's some people commenting. I'm just happy to be here with you all. And let's go through a brief practice for those of you that are curious and interested in cultivating this. You don't necessarily need a recording or a teacher or a specific method. Again, in the beginning, maybe learning these things are necessary. But ultimately, reminding yourself that you hold all of the keys and all of the answers within. So, allowing yourself to be present in the space your body occupies, becoming aware of the sensations that arise, and simply just being an observer. Thought stream to thought stream, breath to breath. Taking notice how that breath, the more you are aware of it, it naturally softens from inhale to exhale and exhale to inhale. Softening from the top of the head all the way to the tips of the toes. And allowing your entire body to breathe. And the more that we cultivate this awareness, the more of our infinite potential we tap into. And bringing our awareness back to the breath, and then back to the present moment. Be here now. Trust the journey. Show up to yourselves. And the work is never done. So, I hope that this has been beneficial for you, and I look forward to sharing more. The next episode, I want to talk more about the sympathetic nervous system and activated breath work, and what is available through that sort of method and technique. So I look forward to next episode. Stay tuned from Steady Path Healing. Cheers.